Aloha and welcome back to the Hawaii Coffee Association's first virtual conference. My name is Chris Manfredi. I'm the president of the Hawaii Coffee Association. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, the Hawaii Department of Ag. Platinum sponsors are Monarch Coffee, Savor Brands, Tricar Braun, Greenwell Farms. Gold sponsors, Sataki, Kona Hills, Rural Crop Insurance Services. Silver sponsors are Green Flash Coffee and Maui Grown Coffee. As a reminder, for certified and full members, please cast your votes for our new board. We sent the ballot to your inboxes if you're a qualified member yesterday morning. The voting will close at the end of this session. So at 12:15, you will no longer be able to vote. So please get your ballots cast. We're very pleased and honored today to have with us the Anthology Marketing Group. I saw a presentation a year or two ago that was hosted by the Hawaii Tourism Authority, and Vanessa Gonsalves, who's with us today, was the presenter. I was very taken with her expertise and her energy and her communication style. So I thought it would be certainly appropriate to invite Anthology Group and Vanessa to come speak with you today. The Hawaii Coffee Association has a contract with Anthology Marketing Group for a social media marketing campaign to promote Hawaiian coffee on the U.S. mainland, and that is ongoing. So we thank you for your attention, your patience, and we thank Vanessa for being here to represent Anthology Marketing Group on social media marketing tips. With that, we'll turn it over to Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you so much, Chris. Hopefully my personality will shine through
but I have
Zoom
to say,
or virtual conference version. But yes, very excited to be here today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Like Chris said, my name is Vanessa Gonsalves. I've been working with Anthology for about 2 years now, but I've been doing social media marketing for almost 6 years. I'm very passionate about social media marketing and everything that I'll be talking about today. I know that, there's a lot of people joining today, and I know that maybe some of you are already very much familiar with social media. Maybe some of the things that you're going to hear today, you've known about it for a few years, or maybe this is your first time really trying to join social media and promote your business and create an online presence on social media. So hopefully a lot of the best practices that I'll be going over today will be entry level, but also a little bit more advanced if you're looking to really take your social pages to the next step. Please feel free to drop any questions in the chat. We do have a 10 to 15 minutes Q&A in the end, and I can go over all of your questions. And I also believe that this deck can be shared with all of you after. There's a lot of good resources, a lot of good information on this deck that I would like you all to have it so you can revisit in the future when you are creating your social media strategy. So today we're going to be talking about why you should be on social media if you're not on social media yet, the best practices of social media, and then I'll be sharing a few resources that I personally use and have used for the past few years that have helped me help the clients I work with succeed on social media. And like I said, a Q&A in the end. So first, why should you be on social media? Maybe some of you already are and you're already convinced and you already know the benefits of social, or maybe some of you don't even have your own Facebook, but you know that your business should be on social media. So let's dive into the reasons to why you should be active there. First, I want to look at the reasons why consumers are using social media. And these are not by order of relevance. These are all very important reasons to why users are active on social. So first, to stay in touch with friends and family. Second, to stay up to date with news and events, especially the younger generation now. They use social media as their main source of news. And I know that sounds crazy, that so many of the younger folks are using social media as their main source of news, but that's the reality. So if you are trying to reach a younger audience. They are very much active on social, and they're trying to get all their information through social. Next, to have fun and be entertained, obviously, during your lunch break, or maybe before you go to bed, people check their social just to have a good laugh and to be entertained. Next, to fill up spare time. Again, when you have pockets of time throughout the day, you just check your social. And that's, even more true now with the pandemic. So many people spending more time at home. So many people couldn't, go out and do the things that they were doing on their day-to-day. So social media usage just increased a lot. And last but not least, to network with other people. And this one is very true for LinkedIn and Facebook. It's the place where people go to create new connections, if they are personal connections or business connections. It's really a place where people can conversate and connect and create that network with other people. So now that we know why people are on social media, I want to talk about the players. We all know that there's so many different channels are out there. There's TikTok, Clubhouse, Snapchat, Twitter. There's just so many different social channels, and there will continue to be more and more. But I wanted to focus on the two largest social media channels as of 2021. So of course we have Facebook. 7 in 10 US adults use Facebook daily. As you can see, the Facebook audience is mostly male. It used to be really heavy on female, but now, as of 2021, we just repull all this data, and we found that males are now more active on Facebook than females. Most users check Facebook 8 times a day. So if your business is on Facebook, there's 8 chances that someone could open up their Facebook feed and see your post and see your ad. So US adults are very much active on Facebook. And the largest demographic on Facebook are users ages 25 to 34. And I think it's important to point out that even though 25 to 34 is a younger audience, the fastest growing demographic on Facebook are 55 plus. A lot of people have the misconception that older folks might not be as active on social, but that has changed a lot over the past few years. And the fastest growing demographic is now a much older audience on Facebook. And then we look at Instagram. 6 in 10 US adults use Instagram daily, mostly female, and that has always been the case with Instagram, a very heavy female audience, but it's getting to almost like an even space now, with a lot of males also joining and being active on Instagram. 90% of users follow a business on Instagram, and I think that's just such an important stat to share, that so many of Instagram users are following and engaging with the business. So, just one more reason to why you should be on social. And the largest demographic on Instagram, it's our users 18 to 24. So a little bit more of a younger audience here, but still really good age range. And you still have your 25, 35 plus that are also active on Instagram. So now that we know the players, the stats that I shared on the previous slide were nationwide. So I also wanted to talk about what we have when we're looking only at Hawaii. Hawaii residents are very active on social, as you can see. Obviously, Oahu has the most active users, but there's over 70% of Hawaii residents are active on Facebook or Instagram. This doesn't even include all the other channels. This is just for Facebook and Instagram. So if your audience is Hawaii residents, just know that they're very much active on social. And if you're still not convinced that you should be on social media or that your business should have a presence on social media, here are a few other recent stats as of 2021. During the pandemic, social media usage went from only 2 hours a day, well, not only, 2 hours a day is quite a lot, but it went from 2 hours a day to 3+ hours a day. And even with the vaccine, even with the, pandemic tech ending and being being almost over, people are still spending a lot of time on social media. So that number is still true, 3+ hours a day on social media per user. 83% of Instagram users discover new products and services within the platform. And that's very much true, especially for the younger generation. Instagram does such an amazing job at allowing businesses to market themselves on Instagram. So you're not just on people's feed, you're on Explore, on the Instagram Explore page, on stories, just everywhere on Instagram. Instagram really allows businesses to thrive and sell on their platform. Which is one of the main reasons why I think Instagram is such a good channel to be active on. Next, 70% of shopping enthusiasts turn to Instagram or Facebook for product discovery. So if you're selling a product, if you're selling a service, a lot of shoppers are looking at their social channels to discover new things. In fact, 50% of Instagram users are more interested in a brand when they see ads for it on Instagram. So that kind of goes back to what I said about Instagram really allowing businesses to market themselves on Instagram. That's because users really are going there to discover these new products and these new services. And this last stat I thought would be interesting to share if your audience is a little bit younger. So Gen Zers are you're 25 years old and younger. If that's who you're trying to reach, they are 2 times as likely as the average consumer to say that Facebook has influenced them to purchase something and motivated them to follow a business. So, Gen Zers, like this younger generation, they really grew up with social media, and that's where they get their news. That's where they find new products, and that's where they follow their friends. So definitely, if you're trying to reach a younger demographic, Facebook and Instagram are just the best marketing channels for you to be on if you're trying to target this younger demographic. And now that hopefully you're convinced that social media is the place for you to be on and that it's the place for you to advertise on, let's go over the best practices of social media. Maybe you already have a page and you're just looking, what else can I do differently to get more followers, to get more engagement, or maybe you're just getting started and you want to know what are the first steps that you should take. So here are 10 commandments of social, and these are true for most businesses. At least 7 or 8 out of all 10 will be true for your business. And I use these commandments when creating any social media strategy, but also when I'm revising a current social media strategy. So first, it seems very obvious: be entertaining, be interesting, and be worth following. But it's just so important to know that the content that you're putting out there needs to be high quality. It needs to add value. Just because social media can be so saturated with so many businesses trying to advertise and promote themselves. So the content that you're putting out there needs to add value. It needs to encourage users to want to follow you. Our second commandment is understanding your social media audience. Once you understand you obviously know who your customers are, who your clients are, but understanding what do they look like on social media when it comes to age, to gender, that will help you write that interesting and entertaining content when you really understand who you're speaking to on social media. Our next commandment is to understand what role social media marketing plays in your overall marketing strategy. So maybe you're doing emailing lists already. Maybe you're doing radio, or maybe you're not doing anything online yet. Understand what social media can do for you as part of your marketing strategy. If it's going to be the place where you can create a community and create conversations, or maybe the place where you will be selling your products, or the place where you will be talking about your services. Define what social media can do for you as part of your marketing strategy. Our next commandment is having an identity, personality, and a voice. And I think this one is so important, and it comes back to social media being oversaturated. if you just sound like a business, if you sound like a corporation, you most likely have a hard time growing on social media. Users are really looking for more of that organic and natural and human feel when they're on social media. So define what your personality is. Even though it's your business, you can still have a personality. You can sound like a person who's, just posting on their phone, and that will most likely um, help you with a high engagement rate and help you grow in following. Our next one is provide value and build credibility. And I've kind of talked about that one already on our first commandment, just putting content out there that really does provide value to your audience. Next, and also very much important, and I'll be talking a little bit more about this one later in the presentation, is being social, connecting, conversing, and interacting. Social media is the place to create these conversations and create these connections. So make sure you're going out there and you're creating these conversations with your followers. Number 7, we'll also be talking more about that one later, is creating a successful content mix and sticking with it. So think about the things that you want to share on your social media. Maybe you want to talk about your services, your products, your team. Select what that content mix is going to be and stick with it. Consistency is everything on social. Number 8 is focusing on full funnel marketing, and I'll be talking more about that later too, how you can really go through that whole funnel through social media. You can do awareness ads, and then you can run website traffic ads, and then you can also run ads that actually convert people into consumers. So focus on that. Number 9, and also very important, is investing in good content. That doesn't mean you have to go out there and spend thousands of dollars in photography and videography. Honestly, an iPhone would do just fine, but just make sure that the content, that you're grabbing good content and you're staying up to date with trends, and you're using your photos and you're sharing your clients and your consumers posts on your own platform. Just investing time on that good quality content, including video. Most of you probably know that video is huge on social media. It gets such good engagement. So take the time to either create these videos yourself or allocate some of your marketing budget on video production. And last but not least, allocate your budget wisely. Of course, you can do social media for free. I'll be talking about this in a little bit. But if you do have a budget, and I recommend that you do, allocate it wisely. And I'll go over what does that mean at the in the upcoming slides of this presentation. So now that we know what the commandments of social are, what can you do on social? There's 2 different parts of social media. You have your organic social and your paid social. Organic is just when you create your business page and you're posting every day or every week. It's the free version of social media. Anyone can go in and create a page for their business. Anyone can go in and post. That's the place where you'll be connecting with your followers, where they'll be commenting on your posts, and you're going to be engaging. So organic social media is great for that. It's a great way of really engaging in that human way. The big disadvantage of organic social is that the reach is very low. So Facebook and Instagram, they want your business to spend money on social. They want you to advertise. And because of that, organic reach is very low. So let's say your page, you have your business page, and you have about 1,000 followers on your page. Only about 3% of them are going to be seeing all of your posts. So you can have 1,000 followers, but only 30 people are actually going to be seeing your posts. That's when paid social comes in. Paid social, it's an ad. So when you're on social media and you see an ad and you see something that says sponsored, that's a paid ad. Anything that's influenced by advertising dollars, it's a paid ad. The big benefit of paid social is that it allows you to target very specific audiences outside of your current followers. So if you're trying to grow on social, if you're trying to reach thousands of people, paid social is the way to go. There's so many ad options, and I'll be showing you guys more about each ad option on the paid social part of the presentation, but you can run brand awareness ads, website SEO ads, engagements. You can grow your following. There's just so much you can do when it comes to paid social. The only disadvantage per se is that it requires a budget. So you will have to allocate some budget to utilize paid social. My recommendation and Anthology's recommendation is that you should create a hybrid strategy and utilize both. So let's dive into each a little bit more. Organic social specifically. What should you be doing on organic social to have a successful strategy? And this next slide is very text heavy. I want you guys to, maybe use this deck later in the future when you're creating your social media strategy. You can always look back at these best practices because there's quite a lot. So first is focusing on the right platforms. I've been talking about Facebook and Instagram because those are the two main channels. Those are the ones where they have just the most active users. I just want you all to know that you do not have to be active on all social channels. A lot of people believe that they have to be on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok to have a social media presence, and that's not true. It's more important that you select the platforms where your demographic is active on and focus on them. Because social media can be so time consuming, it's better to spend all your time in one channel than on 5 channels where you really don't have a solid strategy for any of them. So focus your efforts in one channel. If you're a B2B, LinkedIn and Facebook are your channels. If you're really a B2C, you're just trying to grow in following, Instagram is the perfect channel for you to be on. So select that. And then be consistent with your online presence. Most of you probably do have a website, so just make sure that you're utilizing the same handles, the same profile photos, the same website link across all your channels so you have that consistency that's so important for social. Stick with the posting cadence. Set how many times a week you want to post and stick with that. And I'll be showing you guys what's a good posting cadence on our next slide. Just because pages who consistently post tend to have a higher engagement. Next, and I think I've said this 3 times already, is engage, engage, and engage. Respond to all comments, react to them. You can like, you can love the comments. Ask your followers, encourage them to save your post, to share your post, to like them. Every time you include that call to action, users will be more willing to take an action on your post. Next is posting the right content, and this one really does sound obvious, but it's just a reminding of posting that real and organic content. Feel free to share the behind the scenes of your business on social. People love seeing that. They love seeing the production of things and what's really happening behind the scenes before they get that product on their hands. Share your story if you're the business owner. How did you start? People love feeling inspired. They love hearing other stories. So feel free to really get raw and honest with your followers because people really appreciate that on social. Talk about your team, your employees, and just spend time showing the real people behind the services and the products that you offer. Next is utilizing free tools. So you'll notice that when you go on Instagram, you have so many options. You have IGTV, you have Reels, you have Lives. The options are honestly endless. And Facebook and Instagram really love when a page is utilizing various posting formats. So get out of your comfort zone, maybe post an Instagram Reels, maybe post an IGTV. Just utilizing these different formats that are free could help you reach new users and increase engagement. And last but not least, cross-promotion. If you have a large email list, if you have a lot of website visitors, if you already have a channel with a big following, cross-promote. Let your users know that you're active on social and that they should follow you for everything that you posted, for posting, for giveaways, for announcements, for promotions. So just utilize all of your marketing channels to cross-promote yourself. And then I mentioned on the slide previously, posting on the right times and having a good cadence. This is just a good handy graphic from Sprout Social showing what are the highest engagement days on Facebook. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays are the best days to post between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. So let's say you post 3 times a week. Make sure you're choosing the best times to post. That way you're optimizing for best engagement. For Instagram, highest engagement days are all the weekdays during lunchtime. So a lot of people are consuming content on Instagram during lunch. So make sure you're scheduling your posts when your users are most active. And then we go over some of my recommended posting cadence and engagement rates. You can see on the graphic on the right, that's a graphic by Rival IQ. They did a whole research on the food and beverage businesses and what their social media best practices were. And they found that most of the food and beverage businesses were posting 2.5 times a week and 2.57 times a week on Instagram. We recommend posting at least 2 times a week on Facebook and not more than once a day. And a good engagement rate on Facebook is 2%. So for every 1,000 people that see your post, you want at least 20 of them to be engaging with your content in some way. And I know that sounds very low, but if you see on the research on the right side, the average engagement rate on Facebook for food and beverage businesses is 0.05%. So a 2% is a very good goal to strive for. For Instagram, we recommend posting 3 times a week, but it's okay if you want to post less, because on Instagram, it's all about consistency. It's way more important than frequency. So pick a cadence, once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week, and just stick with that, because that's what the Instagram algorithm likes. And a 3% engagement rate is recommended on Instagram. So if you're having a hard time setting goals for yourself or yourselves, feel free to utilize these 2 engagement rate goals as a good base for your own business. And now that we went over all the best practices of organic social, let's talk about paid social. Not sure if most of you are familiar with paid social, if you've ever run a boosted post or an ad before. If you've never done it, I highly recommend that you try it out if you're trying to promote yourself. At the end, on the resources part of this deck, you will see that I have a very good resource where you can learn more about paid social. So here I'm just gonna go over the basics of paid social, but I encourage you to spend time really learning more about all the kinds of ads that you can run on Facebook and Instagram. So best practices. Before you start building your ad, spend some time defining your plan and your objectives. What's your end goal? What are you trying to achieve with social media? Are you trying to increase website traffic? Are you trying to just increase followers? Select that end goal. Then think about your audience, think about your message, and think about how you're going to be measuring success. If you answer these questions before creating your ad, you have a much easier time creating your ad. It will be much easier to get through that whole process. So when you have your page set up, your business page is created, and you start creating your ad, Facebook and Instagram will give you many objective options. You have awareness, consideration, and conversion. So select the right objective, because that will help Facebook and Instagram deliver your ad to the correct audience. Once you select your objective, think about your audience. Who are you trying to target? Facebook and Instagram offer endless targeting options. So you can target by age, by gender, by geographic location. If you want to target a 5-mile radius around your business, that's available. If you want to target everyone in Hawaii, that's also an option. If you want to target visitors, those are all options within Facebook. So spend some time looking at the options, play around with it. You can always edit later. Let's say you're running your ad, you're not getting the results you want. Make changes to your audience. You can do that at any time with a Facebook ad and Instagram ad. Next is spending time on creative. This is obviously the most important part of your ad. It's what users will be seeing. So test different images and carousels and videos, and let your audience decide what they like more. You can A/B test so much on social. That's why I love it so much. It's not like when you put a radio buy out there, like it's really what it is. On Facebook, you can update things within like the hour. So a lot of room for A/B testing and seeing what performs best with your audience. Always, always, always include a CTA, call to action. Believe it or not, for the clients at Anthology, we get so much more engagement and so much more action when we add to our copy something like visit our website, shop this now, visit us at this address, follow our page. So just including those actions in your ads will help you get better results. Next is checking your results daily. You learn so much from your data. You'll be able to see how many impressions you're getting, reach, clicks, and also seeing who is clicking. You can see the age group. You can see if they're using Facebook or Instagram. Just analyzing that data will really help you guide your steps moving forward for your future ads. And last but not least, research your competitors. I don't know if most of you know that, but you can actually see what your competitors are running on social media. So that's on the resources deck. It's a link by Facebook where you can put your competitor's page and see what ads they are running. That way you can create geo-conquesting ads, and you can, just use that information to influence your own paid social strategy. So definitely look at your competitors. If you've never run paid ads, or if you have but you're still not sure what's successful or not, here are some benchmarks for you to use for when you're running your own ads. A good CTR, and these metrics are research from many advertisers, including what we do at Anthology. So a good click-through rate, it's 90%. The average cost per click is $1.72. The average cost per lead is $25, and the average cost per 1,000 impressions is $11. Honestly, I think this slide is so helpful when you're trying to define success. When you're running your first ad and you're not sure if that's working or not, feel free to look at these benchmarks and use them to guide your own social media strategy. And then the resources that I mentioned a few times, and I know we want to get into the Q&A because it's already past 12. Sorry, I've been trying to rush this a little bit, but here are the resources that I think are just so important for a successful social media strategy. I use this every day, and I've been doing social for 6 years, and I still, do Facebook Blueprint. So Facebook Blueprint is the ultimate course on Facebook and Instagram advertising. That's a course that Facebook created themselves for small businesses and mid-sized businesses and agencies to take and really perfect their Facebook and Instagram skills. It's free. It's awesome. It's very easy to understand with videos and quizzes. So if you're really trying to perfect your Facebook advertising, Facebook and Instagram advertising skills, I highly recommend you do Facebook Blueprint. Canva, if you don't know Photoshop, if you don't have a designer, Canva is free and has hundreds of templates and stock photography and designs that will help you build these organic posts and the ads. Then I also included 3 different free stock imagery websites that look natural and organic. They really don't look like Shutterstock. They just look like maybe you could have taken it. So Pexels, Pixabay, and Unsplash are great for stock imagery. Creator Studio, that's another software by Facebook. It's their own scheduling tool. So let's say you want to plan ahead, you want to schedule a whole month of content. You can use Creator Studio for Facebook and Instagram scheduling. It's free, it's awesome, and you don't have to spend money on a third-party software. Number 5 is Unfold and a design kit. If you really want to up your game on Instagram stories, these 2 phone apps really help you create stories that stand out. Visco, this is just a photography editing app. Like I said, consistency is key on social media. So I always recommend that you use similar filters and similar editing on your photography. And Visco is just a great app to edit all of your photos. Number 7, watch your competition. So that hyperlink right there, it's the little link that's gonna let you research your competitors and see what ads they're running on their pages. And number 8, if you don't have time to do all of that, a resource is just hiring an agency to do it for you. Social media can be very time consuming. So if you don't have the time to do it, hire an agency to do all of that for you. But I think the last slide. I'm sorry I rushed a little bit. I feel like I was really going over the 30 minutes, so I tried to pack up all this information. But I think we have 10 minutes, right, to go through questions. Oh, let's see. I just opened the chat.
Hey, Vanessa, your energy came through loud.
Oh, good.
We made the right decision. I know that.
Good. I'm glad. I think my energy too is because it's so hot in my office. I think my AC stopped working mid presentation, so I'm like sweating over here. Thank you. I'm glad you learned so much. I mean, I could talk about social media. Chris knows I could go on and on. I'm glad we were able to learn so much with this 30 minutes. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Maria. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys were able to learn.
So we have this presentation that we can make available, right? As well as your contact information for any members that might want to hire you.
Absolutely. I'm putting my Anthology email in the chat right now that you guys can reach out to. Also, this presentation, I believe Chris or Ally, one of you guys will be sending that to all of the attendees.
Yeah, we'll make it available on our website if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. I think, that was the goal with this deck, is really being a guide where people can look back at and pick through and just use it on their day-to-day. So, or not day-to-day, but yes, please share it. I just put my email in the chat if you want to hire an agent like Chris.
Any questions? I think you may have covered everyone. I think everyone is just dumbstruck with the type of presentation that you just gave.
Yeah, glad. Well, if you have questions after presentation, feel free to email me. I know it was a lot to digest. Some slides were very packed, so just feel free to email me your questions.
Okay. We'll hang on here for a little bit to see if there's any more questions. We still have until 12:15 to cast your ballots. Our next presentation will be at 12:45. It'll be the Hawaii Coffee Association's Cafe Collective, hosted by Madeline Longoria Garcia. She's another bundle of energy, along with David Hall. And the Cafe Collective is targeted towards coffee shops, which is a new feature of the HCA. The Board of Directors election results will follow at 1:45. That'll be hosted by Tom Greenwell, the nominating committee chair. And at 5 p.m., make sure you tune in for the 12th annual HCA statewide cupping competition awards ceremony. That'll be hosted by Brittany Horn of Pacific Coffee Research. So we have a question here. What's your recommendation on easily tracking insights on a quarterly basis?
That's a great question. Facebook and Instagram both have their own insights pages, so you're able to check your insights within the platform. If you're running ads, you're going to run that through Facebook Business Manager, and that's where you're going to be able to track your ad insights. If you're trying to really go to the next level and get very detailed insights, you can use social media softwares like Sprout Social, Hootsuite. They provide very detailed reports, but they do cost a monthly fee. But if you're willing to pay, I use Sprout Social for all of my clients, and the reports that Sprout Social gives you is just amazing. You see your demographic, your engagement rate, your clicks, your impressions. If you're trying to get more advanced, you can go with the software, but if you want, just within the platform should be fine. You're welcome.
Any further questions? Okay, we can wrap it up here. Again, you have 5 minutes to cast your ballots. Thank you again, Vanessa, for helping guide us through this topic, and we look forward to working with you and Anthology in the future on our targeted social media marketing campaign for the Hawaii coffee industry. Thank you all for joining, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Aloha.
Thank you.
Thank you.